We are officially into the off season. Taking a look at the overview here. Beautiful weather for the whole season. Extreme 2-minute quarters all the way through. A 105 total point differential. And we know that the offense and defensive stars, it's all fives. All fives across the board. Got a couple big decisions to make. Number one, and it might come as a surprise to you, we are looking at different teams that we might take control of. Cleveland, who was terrible, as well as our own division, Jacksonville. 3-star offense and a 1.5-star defense for Chicago, and a 2 and a 1.5 for Atlanta. I'm between really 3 jobs here. I'm between going to Jacksonville strictly for the fact that this franchise has mishandled so many situations pertaining to me and pertaining to the roster, the team, the management. Everything has been honestly in shambles, and we've managed to persevere through it all. The final decision needs to be made, and I think I'm going to take my talents from the Houston Texans to the Detroit Lions. Mike Hunt called it a day in Houston and takes on a new challenge as head coach of Detroit. The previous coordinators have decided to move on, and a new season is underway. We are taking the reins here in Detroit. It was between Chicago and Detroit, and we are back to square one with this team. A 1.5-star offense and a half-star defense. This is going to be a tough road we are trekking on. Looking over at Houston, they seem to be doing well without us. Already up to a 4.5-star offense. Still a 2-star defense, but we will jump into the roster breakdown, the draft, re-signings, everything in between very shortly. First things first, a little housekeeping. 21% fans, 69% morale. We're going to take a look at the front office. We have 14 coaching credits, a low rehab stadium, and training, as our offensive coordinator Tracy Fowler and our defensive coordinator Brevin Lippett, as we, through one season, have already progressed to a 3.5-star. We're going to take a look at the roster here, as we have some players with expiring contracts. We have a lot. Looking at our current roster, quarterback Nigel Payne, bringing the pain to the defense. He is 32 years old, under a big fat contract, and he is pissed. Debo Irwin, 31-year-old running back who is pretty solid. Picasso Millen, a 23-year-old offensive lineman. And Jahan Odekoya, a 32-year-old linebacker. But we've got a few decisions to make. Miles Onwenu. I know these names are new. Get used to them. I don't know if we'll get used to Miles. I don't know if we're going to keep him. Kawami Vinette. I do not need to resign a 35-year-old kicker. Trayvon Judon, a 32-year-old DB. He's not great. He's not asking for a lot of money, though. And Kamoko Sherrills, a 33-year-old DB. I would like to bring back, based on our defense, I'd like to bring back one of these two players. 32, 33, 1-year, 2-year contract. Miles Onwenu would give us at least one weapon. We'll re-sign him for 1 year, as Miles is back on the squad. And I would say between these two, slight edge to Kamoko Sherrills as far as the contract's only 1 year. That's all I really would want. And he's a half-star better. So we will sign Kamoko Sherrills, and Trayvon Judon will be hitting the market. I don't know if there'll be any suitors for him, but good luck wherever you go, as Detroit signs a wide receiver, signs a DB, and we are going to be moving forward to the draft. Are any of these players worth getting rid of? I would say the only person I would consider getting rid of would be our running back, who is 31. He's getting up there in age. He's got a lot of speed, and he's very strong. We're going to evaluate, though, when we get to the draft. We're going to kind of take it as it comes to us, as we have some talent hitting this side of the field, as Bobby Winters is the #1 overall prospect available to us. He looks like a beast of a running back. I would not want an O-lineman. Linebackers, though. 2 great linebackers, 4-star rating for both Keyshawn Roche and Kerryon Weeks. But Sion Madison, probably cousin of the legendary Dolphins DB Sam Madison. He could be the player, but don't let him be outdone by Luke Curry. Two great potential players here. Offense has some weapons, but we're going to take... Oh my fucking goodness. Tay Aduwusu? Aduwusi? I don't know. He looks amazing. Devin Chase chasing down the quarterback. Want to see if there's any late round guys. Tristan Tevy could be a really good flyer in the second or third round at receiver. Looks like he's got some good speed, good hands. Any tight ends available? Have one, Nasir Gardner, who could be very good as well. I'm going to say our first pick is going to be between Sion Madison at DB and Luke Curry. I like Madison more, so I'm going to scout him. And if his potential is amazing, I'll draft him. If it's not, I'm going to take Luke. Looks like I'm taking Luke Curry. Do I do that? Now I'm having second thoughts here. But now I'm thinking maybe take a linebacker. I don't know if I take the running back, but this receiver looks insane. I'm going to scout him. God, these are some tough choices here. Maybe we'll look in the second. These quarterbacks, both 3-star potential, or 3-star ratings. Potential is unknown. But Jake Wilson has the speed, and he's got a lot of traits. We're going to look at Johnny Lamb. He's got a lot of potential. And where do I put my last scouting? I really want to scout Tristan Tevy. Okay, this helps me out a lot. I think I'm going to go with the DB Luke Curry. And I made the right choice. A 5-star, count it, 5-star projected potential. As a 4-star rating, DB Luke Curry is our first pick of this 2024 Retro Bowl draft. And we've got Jake Wilson has fallen to us in the second. I wouldn't be opposed to taking a quarterback with 2 consonants in his last name. I've done it before. But Tevy, I don't think would make it back to us. Tristan Tevy. I feel like if I might miss out on this quarterback who could be great, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of weapons later on in this draft. Blythe, I don't want to rely on Riley Blythe. I'm taking Tevy because I know he's got amazing potential. And we are into round 3. We've got a few options here. Could take Alton Ertz. Could take another DB, Dane Hayward. A white DB. Probably plays safety. Let's just say that. Tavon Kuti. Irwin's worth a second rounder, so if we wanted to take Kuti and trade Irwin, we're a bit late for that, honestly. Jerry Speaks. I would love to hear what he has to say. We've got enough weapons. I think we need to boost up this defense, and we've already got 2 DBs. I'm going to take Alton Ertz, the linebacker. It's not a great pick. He's got 3.5-star potential. Defense is up to a 2.5, as we've tried to kind of get some balance here. And the draft is over, and we will be taking on Tennessee to start this Detroit retro rebuild, coming off of a crazy drama-filled historic offseason with just a ton of storylines, a ton of questions, and they'll be answered as we move forward throughout this series, as we prove everyone right or wrong, depending on who says what. But I will see you guys whenever I decide to sit down and continue this ridiculous, outlandish, amazing game. Goodbye.